Ecclesiastes chapter 11, from verse 1 to 6, I read, Cast your bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. Give a portion to 7 and also to 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. If the clouds be full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth, and if the tree fall toward the south or toward the north, in the place where the tree falleth, there it shall be. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that gathereth the clouds shall not reap. As thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the works of God who maketh whole. Last verse, verse 6. In the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thy hand, for thou knowest not whether shall prosper, either this or that, or whether they both shall be alike good. So once again, I welcome you to this channel, and I'm glad that you're here with me once again. Today, the scripture, Ecclesiastes 11, verse 1 to 6, I just read, notched something in me in terms of how we can multiply our resources. You can call it investment. You can call it maximizing your resources. Now, from verse 1 says, Cast your bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. So when you have a capital, resources come into your hand, how do you ensure that it is maximized in such a way that it brings profit or it multiplies? Remember, God created us to add value, to make, to replicate, to replenish, to be fruitful, to multiply. And so also whatever it is that we find in our hands ought to multiply. So this scripture is telling us, whatever bread that is in your hand, please don't make it just for eating alone. From that bread, sow a seed from it. This scripture, the first time I had the inspiration about this scripture was while I think I was a teenager, and I'd read the scripture and I just read and passed. And that day I was eating bread, and I had to there's a way I used to eat bread then, because of the way how dry it is or heavy. I get to soak it inside my tea, my cup of tea. So there was this particular day while I was eating, the bread dropped in the tea, and after some time, it sank to the bottom of the tea. And after some time, that bread came floating on top of the tea. Now, what am I trying to emphasize? By the time the bread came back floating on top of my tea, I saw that the volume of the bread had increased. Now, what I meant was, in size, it was no longer the small chunk of bread that I dipped or that dropped into my tea. Rather, it came out having filled itself up with the tea. So what am I trying to say? When you cast your bread upon the waters, by the time your bread is returning to you, it is not returning to you by itself alone. It is returning to you soaked in with water, which means the size will have increased, which means the volume would have increased. Now again, to give a portion to 7 and also to 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. Now, verse 5 and 6 talked about, we don't know how these things happen really, some of us, but in the morning, in verse 6 says, sow your seed. In the evening, do not withhold. So just keep putting up finances, just keep investing, keep saving, keep investing, keep saving. In doing this, you will be multiplied. You don't know the evil that is upon the head, according to verse 2. You don't know what is going to come to you, and then you will appreciate the fact that you have put away that amount of money or resources for it to multiply. You have a property. Why, instead of allowing it to just lie fallow there, why don't you rent it out or keep putting it on a lease for it to be generating some returns to you while you figure out what you want to do with that piece of property? You have some money in your account lying dormant. Instead of you allowing the banks to just use your money to do business, why are not giving you what is due you? Why don't you take that money and invest in that different kind of investment in today's time? You have stocks, shares, you have mutual funds, different kinds of capital investment that you can put your money into. You can go into property investment, real estate, buy properties that will appreciate over time. These are the ways in which you put your bread upon the waters, so that by the time it is going to be needed, it is coming back soaked in. It is not coming back just as bread alone, but is soaked in as bread that has absorbed a lot of nutrient along with it. Somebody is saying, but the money I have, I can barely survive with it. Verse 4 of that same scripture says, he that observes the wind shall not sow, and he that regarded the clouds shall not reap. So, for example, look at the farmers. If they are thinking, so it's not raining season yet, then this seed we have to keep it. Imagine, or maybe they feel, the weather is not so good right now, I can't go to the farm. What will you and I even be able to buy from the market if all farmers have this attitude? Or if they say, now it is harvest time, it's time for them to go and reap all the crops, the yields that are on the farm, and they're saying, no, it's about to rain, we cannot go. Imagine, by the time they go, it may be too late. Pests, animals, or humans, they could have vandalized that farm of harvest. So, my brothers and sisters, the Lord is admonishing us, advising us. He puts resources in our hands, yes, but it also has given us the opportunity and the channel to ensure that resources, we do not just make them bread, but rather we also bring out seed out of those bread. And my prayer for you this day is that the God that gives seed to the sower and bread to the eater will actually bless you with all the resources that you need to ensure even that you sow seeds that will yield increase. If you appreciate what this message has brought to you, I want you to like, share this video, comment on it, subscribe, and I pray as you do so, the Lord will bless you. Thank you, and God bless you.